¿Alguna vez te has preguntado qué sucede con nuestros cuerpos después de morir? It's a deep question, but one that has a very real-world impact, especially when it comes to organ donation. Today, we're going to take a journey into the heart of this topic, exploring how different countries, particularly Venezuela, handle the incredible gift of life that is organ donation. It's a story of laws, culture, and profound human generosity. Let's start in Venezuela. For a long time, the rules for organ donation were set by a law from 1992. But in 2011, everything changed with a new law. This new legislation introduced a huge concept, presumed donation. What does this mean? Basically, it says that every adult who is legally declared dead is automatically considered an organ donor unless they specifically stated otherwise during their lifetime. This is a massive shift, moving from an opt-in system where you have to sign up to be a donor to an opt-out system. The idea is to increase the number of available organs and save more lives. And Venezuela isn't alone. Many countries have adopted similar policies. But here's where it gets really interesting. Is presumed consent the magic bullet for solving the organ shortage? Let's look at some neighbors for perspective. Take Uruguay, for example. It's a leader in Latin America with an organ donation rate about 6 times higher than Venezuela's. You'd think they must have a very aggressive presumed consent law, right? Well, not exactly. Uruguay's law is actually quite cautious. It states that if a person dies in a hospital without having expressed their wishes, doctors must wait 3 hours. During that time, if the family objects, the donation cannot proceed. If the family doesn't object, then it can. 3 hours might seem like a long time, and you might worry about the organs deteriorating. Yet, despite this limitation, Uruguay is a regional champion. Why? Because they've built a powerful culture of awareness and education around donation. It's not just about the law, it's about the people's mindset. Now let's cross over to Chile. Their donation rate is also more than double Venezuela's. Chile also uses a presumed consent model, but with a crucial clause: family matters. The law allows for the donation of a deceased person's organs unless they or their family have expressed opposition. So, even if the person never opted out, the family still has a say and can prevent the donation. It's a presumed consent, but with a family veto. And what about Mexico? They have another variation. Their law also presumes consent if the person didn't refuse in life. But, and it's a big but, doctors must still get consent from a family member, following a specific order: spouse, children, parents, and so on. Again, the family's voice is central to the final decision. This brings us back to the Venezuelan law. The new law, specifically Article 27, establishes that every adult is a presumed donor unless they've registered their opposition in a national database. The law even gave the government a year to set up the system for people to officially opt out. A big step forward is that this now includes brain death, not just clinical death, which expands the potential for donation. However, unlike Chile and Mexico, the Venezuelan law, as written, doesn't explicitly give families the power to override this presumption. Once a person is declared dead and they haven't opted out, they are considered a donor. This is a point of debate. On one hand, it respects the individual's legal status as a presumed donor and prevents a grieving family from having to make a gut-wrenching decision in a moment of intense emotional pain. But on the other hand, some argue it could be seen as overlooking the family's feelings and their understanding of their loved one's unstated wishes. The architects of the law hoped that extensive public information campaigns would build the same kind of positive culture we see in Uruguay, making this an initiative. Time will tell if those campaigns are more successful than the ones mandated by the old 1992 law, which sadly faded away over time. Of course, there are exceptions. The law respects the cultural beliefs of indigenous communities who are not included in the presumed donor category. Also, for children and adolescents, organ donation is not presumed. It requires the explicit permission of their parents or legal guardians. So that's donation after death. But what about donating while you're still alive? This is a completely different scenario with its own strict set of rules designed to protect the living donor. First and foremost, the purpose must be therapeutic. You can donate an organ to save or improve someone's life, or for research and teaching. Commercializing organs is strictly illegal and severely punished. You can't sell a kidney, and you can't get a transplant just for cosmetic reasons. The goal is always health and healing. Second, these procedures can only happen in authorized hospitals with the right equipment and trained staff, all supervised by the Ministry of Health. It's a serious medical procedure, not something to be taken lightly. Third, a transplant is considered a last resort. All other conventional treatments must be tried and failed before a transplant is even considered. The goal must be to restore the patient's health and give them a reasonable chance at a good quality of life. Now, what can you donate? The law is clear. You cannot donate single vital organs that would cause your own death or a severe, permanent disability. The law's job is to protect your life and your physical integrity, even from your own decision to donate. You can, however, donate a part of an organ, like a piece of your liver, as long as it won't cause you permanent harm. And who can you donate to? The law is very specific. Living donors are generally limited to close relatives, blood relatives up to the 5th degree, a spouse or a long-term partner of at least 2 years. The idea is that such a profound sacrifice is most likely to be truly altruistic when it's for a loved one. This rule also helps prevent hidden financial transactions and the terrible crime of organ trafficking. Plus, close relatives are more likely to be a biological match. But there's a fascinating exception to this rule: the paired or crossed transplant. Imagine this scenario. A mother wants to donate a kidney to her son, but they're not a match. Elsewhere, another mother and son are in the exact same boat. With authorization, the first mother can donate her kidney to the second son, and the second mother can donate her kidney to the first son. It's an amazing, life-saving exchange between strangers, all coordinated to create compatible pairs. To be a living donor, you must be an adult. The only exception is for bone marrow or hematopoietic stem cells, where a minor can donate with their parents' consent. You also need a clean bill of health, both physically and mentally. Doctors need to be sure the donation won't harm you and that you remaking the decision with a clear mind. Compatibility tests are, of course, mandatory. The law emphasizes that this is a pure gift. No money, no compensation. Any contract or agreement other than a pure and simple donation is void. Certain individuals, like pregnant women or those with intellectual disabilities, are prohibited from being living donors to protect them, and a potential female donor must be tested to ensure she is not pregnant. Finally, and this is perhaps the most important right of a living donor, your consent is everything. You must give informed consent before the procedure, and you can change your mind at any point before the organ is removed. No questions asked, no legal consequences. Your body, your choice, right up until the last moment. It's a final safeguard, honoring the donor's ultimate control over their own body. From presumed consent after death to the intricate rules for living donors, the world of organ donation is a delicate balance of law, ethics, and the incredible human capacity for giving. It's a conversation we should all be having with our loved ones, so our wishes are known no matter what the law says. Thanks for watching. If you found this topic as fascinating as I do, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into the issues that shape our world. See you next time.